Hey there, my fellow anglers and friends. Your fishing expert is back, and today we're diving deep into what promises to be a fascinating week on the water in beautiful Ireland. We're talking about the period from Monday, October 13th, to Sunday, October 19th, 2025. This week, my friends, is shaping up to be truly unique for fishing here in the Emerald Isle. I've crunched all the numbers, looked at every forecast, and I can tell you right now, there are some serious opportunities waiting for those who know where and how to look. We'll uncover why this particular week, with its stable weather patterns and cooling waters, is going to be a prime window for certain species. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a game plan that could lead to your best autumn catches yet. Let's talk tactics, my friends, focusing on the top species that will be biting aggressively during this mid-October window. Based on all the data, we're going to target pike, bass, brown trout, and perch. These predators are in full feeding mode, and we're going to capitalize on that. First up, our freshwater giants, the mighty pike. Autumn, especially mid-October, is prime time for these toothy predators here in Ireland. They're in a full-blown feeding frenzy, packing on weight for the colder months ahead. So where do we find them? Focus your efforts on the deeper channels, around submerged structures, and along the weed lines of our larger lofts like Lough Derg, Lough Mask, or Lough Ree. These areas provide both ambush points and concentrations of their prey. The cooling water pushes baitfish into more predictable patterns, and the pike will be right there with them. As for what to throw, go aggressive, friends. Large lures are your best bet. Think big, soft plastics, deep-diving crankbaits in natural baitfish patterns, or even a classic deadbait presentation on a float rig. Remember, a bold offering can be irresistible when they're actively feeding. Try colors that mimic perch or roach, as these are staple diets this time of year. Don't be afraid to experiment with retrieve speeds. Sometimes a slow, deliberate retrieve works best. Other times a faster, erratic action can trigger a strike. Next, our saltwater superstars, the hard-fighting bass. October is historically a phenomenal month for bigger bass, particularly along Ireland's rugged coastlines, especially in the south from Cork to Kerry. These strong fighters will be actively patrolling as they prepare for winter. My advice, focus your efforts on deeper channels during low tide where fish might concentrate. Don't forget shallower, rough ground where baitfish seek refuge. Estuaries and harbours, particularly those with good tidal flow, can also be hot spots. For shore anglers, fresh peeler crab or lugworm on a pulley rig is incredibly effective. If you're a lure angler, shallow diving crankbaits or even surface poppers might still work early in the week, but as the water cools, consider switching to heavier jigs or soft plastics fished slower along the bottom. Keep an eye on the surf. A bit of chop can stir up food and bring bass closer to shore. Then we have our beautiful freshwater jewels, the brown trout. These elusive beauties remain active in early October and can offer some excellent sport with the water cooling. They'll be looking for comfort and food as they start their spawning preparations, which typically runs from October to December. You'll find them in areas with good cover, like along drop-offs inside river bends or around submerged structures in our loughs, such as Lough Corrib or Lough Mask. They'll also patrol the edges of deeper channels, especially where there's good oxygenation and food availability. For tackle, a light spinning rod with smaller spinners or spoons can work wonders. If you're a fly angler, consider nymphing with weighted patterns or even wet flies, especially in the afternoon if there's any sparse insect activity. A simple worm or small minnow on a light float can also yield good results, particularly when they're a bit more cautious. Early mornings and late evenings are often the most productive. And let's not forget the ever-present and always hungry perch. These striped beauties will be schooling up and actively feeding this week. You'll find them concentrating in deeper sections of lakes, around submerged features, near weed lines, and any structural elements that offer cover and food. Look for them around jetties, submerged trees, or bridge pilings in loughs like Lough Derg or Lough Melvin. They are opportunistic feeders and will hit a variety of baits. Small jigs, soft plastics, or spinners are excellent choices for lure anglers. For bait fishing, worms or maggots on a small float or leaguer rig can be incredibly effective. The key is to locate a school. Once you find them, the action can be non-stop. Their aggressive nature in autumn makes them a fantastic target for a fun day out. Now let's talk about the theoretical base, the science behind why this week's fishing will be what it is. Understanding these conditions is crucial for predicting fish behavior. First, the weather. Met Ariane, our Irish Meteorological Service, predicts that high pressure will be in control during our forecast week, from October 13th to October 19th. This means settled conditions, largely dry weather for much of the week, and temperatures that will be a little higher than normal for this time of year. Generally, in October, Ireland sees average air temperatures ranging from 10 to 14 degrees Celsius during the day and around 8 degrees Celsius at night. This week, we can expect day temperatures to be closer to 14 or 15 degrees Celsius, with nights still cool but not freezing. While October typically brings heavy rainfall with over 20 rainy days, this particular week should be much drier. Wind will be a moderate breeze, averaging around 18 to 26 kilometers per hour. The impact of these conditions is generally excellent for fishing. Stable high atmospheric pressure means fish are less likely to be put off by sudden changes, unlike drastic drops or spikes in pressure. A moderate breeze means that while there will be some surface ripple, sheltered spots will be key for comfortable fishing and locating concentrations of baitfish. Clearer water, often associated with high pressure, might also push some fish into deeper, more comfortable zones. Next, let's consider the water temperature. Around Ireland, the sea temperature in mid-October hovers around 13 to 14 degrees Celsius. Inland freshwater systems will be slightly cooler, generally remaining above 10 degrees Celsius. This cooling trend from summer to autumn is a critical trigger for many species. It signals to predatory fish that it's time to feed aggressively to build up their reserves for the approaching colder months. It's a natural shift in their metabolism, making them more active hunters. So as the water cools, expect fish to be on the hunt for food, making them more susceptible to your offerings. Now for the Pike moon phase. For our forecast week, from October 13th to October 19th, 2025, we are primarily in a waning moon period. The full moon was on October 7th, and October 13th marks the third quarter moon. The new moon will then occur on October 21st. Many anglers, myself included, firmly believe that the period immediately following a full moon can still be very active. The increased ambient light from the previous full moon often boosts feeding behavior, and fish might still be on an aggressive bite as the moon's illumination slowly decreases. While traditional law suggests new moon and full moon periods are best, the transition phase of the waning moon can still be highly productive, especially for predatory species that use the varying light conditions to their advantage. And finally, the overall fish activity. For Ireland, this time of year, my friends, we're in for a treat. There's a general shift towards aggressive autumn feeding patterns. Predatory fish, like pike and bass, are definitely in a feed-up mode, actively seeking prey. Brown trout remain active and can offer excellent sport, especially as they prepare for spawning. Coarse fish like perch will be schooling and actively feeding, making them easier to target once located. While the main salmon and sea trout seasons are winding down on many rivers by the end of September, some specific rivers still permit sea trout fishing until October 12th, so always double-check your local regulations if those are your targets. For this week, however, focus your efforts on the actively feeding predators. All right, my friends, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the daily forecast for our week, giving you a clear picture of what to expect day by day. Monday, October 13th. This day starts with the third quarter moon. My clear assessment for fishing is a solid good to very good, leaning towards excellent for predatory species. The combination of stable high pressure, cooling water, and the natural autumn feeding frenzy means fish will be actively seeking food. Focus on our key species, pike, bass, brown trout, and perch. Tuesday, October 14th. Expect a good day for fishing. The settled weather with high pressure continues and fish will still be actively feeding. Air temperatures will be around 14 degrees Celsius. Early mornings and late evenings will be particularly productive as fish take advantage of the stable conditions. Wednesday, October 15th. I'd rate this day as good to moderate. Pressure remains stable, but as the moon's illumination decreases slightly from the third quarter, fish might become a bit more selective. Continue to target active feeding zones, but be prepared to work your baits and lures a bit slower. Expect daytime temperatures around 13 or 14 degrees Celsius. Thursday, October 16th. This day will likely be moderate. We'll be in the waning crescent phase of the moon. Predator activity might slow slightly in very open exposed areas. The wind will be a moderate breeze. Focus on seeking deeper, more comfortable zones for fish as they may move to more stable temperatures. Friday, October 17th. Expect a moderate to challenging day. As we get closer to the new moon, fish can become more lethargic, especially in shallower waters. The weather will remain largely dry. It's a day for persistence. Focus on sheltered spots, structure, and presenting baits precisely. Saturday, October 18th. This day will be challenging but rewarding for the persistent angler. We are nearing the new moon, which can often be a tougher period for consistent bites. Temperatures will be around 12 or 13 degrees Celsius. Look for specific, short feeding windows, perhaps during periods of very low light or a slight change in pressure. Sunday, October 19th. Expect a challenging day. We are very close to the new moon, so fish activity might be at its lowest point for the week. Daytime temperatures will be around 12 degrees Celsius. This is the day to focus on tactics for less active fish. Slower retrieves, smaller presentations, and patience will be your best friends. Don't give up, but adjust your expectations and techniques. So there you have it, my friends. Your comprehensive fishing forecast for Ireland from October 13th to October 19th, 2025. I truly hope this helps you plan your angling adventures for the upcoming week. Remember, every day on the water is a good day, even if the fish aren't always cooperating. Adapt your techniques, stay patient, and most importantly, enjoy the beautiful Irish outdoors. I wish you all tight lines and ni quasta ni cheshwi. That's neither tail nor scale for my English-speaking friends, a traditional Russian fishing wish for good luck. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up if you found it helpful, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future forecasts and tips. And now I want to hear from you. What are your plans for fishing this week? Have you had any incredible autumn catches recently? What's your go-to bait or lure for pike, bass, trout, or perch in mid-October? Share your thoughts, tips, and observations in the comments section below. Let's build this community together and learn from each other. Until next time, stay safe and happy fishing.